Good morning, dear friends. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook, located on the ancestral lands of the Settlecott peoples. My name is Lorraine Stidd, and I'm happy to be your worship associate this morning, along with Ginger O'Neill, the co-director of the Sophia Fahs Camp, who is our service leader today. You will also hear from some of the campers themselves and members of the leadership team who are active in making the camp such a rewarding experience, and you'll be meeting them a little bit later. Our Director of Religious Education is Deb Little, and our choir, the Unicorn Singers, are with us today, with Tom Pelletier accompanying them, and Bethany Riddle will be playing the hymns. Our tech team is Rob Pond and John Morris. I welcome you wherever you may be this morning, whether you are in our sanctuary or attending virtually. We are one congregation worshiping together, so let's all wave to the folks at home through the camera on your left. Good morning. A very special welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. We are so glad to have you with us and look forward to getting to know you. If you are comfortable, please raise your hands so we can greet you personally after the service. Welcome, welcome. Please plan to join us after the service for coffee and conversation. For those who are with us online, if you sign off after the service and return to our website, you will find the link for joining our small group chats. Whether here or online, you will find some friendly folks who can answer questions you may have. At any time during the service, we invite you to come forward and place a pebble of joy or concern in the water at the table here to my left. A kind word or a thoughtful act, like a pebble dropped in the water, sends ripples out to the world. Should you wish to make a promise or let go of one, remember someone, release a bit of pain, or otherwise mark some important event or occasion, please step to the table and quietly send your thoughts outward as you drop the pebble in the water, mingling the ripples of your intention with the ripples of those other people in our community. Please silence your cell phones and let us now enter into the sacred space of worship with the sounding of our morning bell. May the vibrations help us to open our hearts and our minds and bring us fully into this moment. Thank you. I have asked Charlie Posey to light our chalice this morning. Yeah. The flaming chalice is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. We kindle the flame of our faith in the cup of our covenant as we enter into worship together. Our chalice lighting words this morning are by Sophia Fahs. The function of the church for both young and old is not to give us on Sundays certain kinds of experiences different from experiences of the everyday. The function of the church is rather to teach us how to put religious and ethical qualities into all kinds of experiences. Now I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our first hymn, number 1021, Lean on Me.
So just a couple words about this. We're not doing the arrangement that's in the hymnal because we all agree that's a terrible arrangement. We're following the original. So just so you know, the verses are what happens at the beginning. There are 3 of them. And we will sing all 3, but not necessarily in the order you expect. The chorus is Lean on Me, When You're Not Strong. You see that on the 2nd page. And the bridge is the Just Call on Me, Brother. And the 2nd time we'll sing Sister. So, and I will announce these things as they go. There's a little intro, and then we'll sing the chorus. The first verse, rather. First verse. Chorus, lean on me. Verse. Verse.
Hello, beloveds. How are you? It's a little crowded up here in the pulpit, I have to say. No, take it. It's good. It's a sign of a thriving congregation, I think. So, today's story comes from an indigenous writer who lives in Alaska with her tribe, the Tlingit tribe. And the story is about generations passing down the knowledge that has kept the tribe alive for generations. It is called Berry Song. And there's a little warning at the beginning that says, "A note to the foragers. Please only gather berries and other wild foods that you and an experienced adult can identify beyond a doubt. There are many toxic lookalikes." On an island, at the edge of a wide, wild sea, Grandma shows me how to live on the land. Together, we pull hemlock branches from the salty ocean, heavy with herring eggs like tiny stars. Who knew? On the beach, we gather ribbons of slippery seaweed dancing in the tide, and by the tumbling icy falls, we dip our nets for silvery salmon hidden beneath the current. And in the forest, we pick berries. Salmonberry, cloudberry, blueberry, nagoonberry, huckleberry, soapberry, strawberry, and crowberry. The berries sing to us, glowing like little jewels. We sing too, so berry and bear know we are here. Grandma tells me, we speak to the land as the land speaks to us, I say. The forest sings to us through misting rain and whoosh of wing and sweet smell of cedar and the tickle of moss. We sing too, so the land knows we are grateful. Cold weather. Grandma tells me we take care of the land as the land takes care of us. Gunal Cheesh, I say, giving thanks. Thimbleberry, swampberry, bogberry, chalkberry, lingonberry, raspberry, bunchberry, cranberry. Our ancestors sing to us, their voices dancing on wind and water. We sing too, so they know that we'll always remember. And we sing for the future, so that all will hear and all will know this beautiful berry song. Grandma tells me we are part of the land, as the land is a part of us, I say. The ocean sings to us, rolling ashore like a beating drum. We sing too, so the tides know we are home. Together, we make salmonberry syrup and cranberry marmalade until the kitchen glows like a summer sky. We feast on huckleberry pie and strawberry crisp, raspberry scones, and freshly whipped soapberries. We share gifts of blueberry jelly and nagoonberry jam. Gunal Cheesh, we say, giving thanks. The nights grow long, edged in frost, as sea fades gently into sky. The forest is resting. The forest is dreaming, waiting for berry song. And so the seasons change. On an island at the edge of a wide, wild sea, I take my little sister's hand. Lingonberry, raspberry, bunchberry, cranberry, salmonberry, cloudberry, blueberry, nagoonberry. I have so much to show you. Amen. So now I would invite our youngest ones, anyone who wants to go back to the green room just for play with Tiny Tots, or our K through 4 kids to go back with Susan and Sarah. And that's not Sarah. That's Sarah. Susan and Sarah. My middle schoolers, I'm asking you to stay in here today because the service is about Sophia Fahs Camp. And you are new to our congregation, but I want to tell you that at least 30 years, our youth, our kids and our youth have been going to Sophia Fahs Camp. And so we want to tell you about it today. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ginger O'Neill, and I'm the co-director of Sophia Fahs Camp for the past couple years. My pronouns are she and her. It is so great to see some familiar faces here, to see a full congregation. It's lovely to come out here this morning in the spirit of community, connection, shared values, and we're ready to embark on the journey of learning, reflection, and growth together for the next session of Sophia Fahs. Today we share the story with you of Sophia Fahs Camp, a cherished tradition within our Unitarian Universalist community. Sophia Fahs Camp has long been a place where Unitarian Universalist children, youth, and now adults have come together to learn, worship, and play in an environment that celebrates our shared principles and values. It is a place where friendships are forged, memories are made, and the essence of our faith is lived out in vibrant and meaningful ways. Our journey through the history of camp will be divided into 3 parts: the past, the present, and the future. So let us open our hearts and minds as we embark on this journey together. May we be inspired by the stories of those who came before us, strengthened by the bonds of community in the present, and filled with hope and anticipation for the future. Welcome once again to this special service. Let's begin our exploration of Sophia Fahs Camp.
Our meditation today are words from Howard Thurman. I'm going to invite you, being we're going camping today, to take a deep breath, and during our meditation, see if you can imagine sitting around a campfire with each other. Maybe it's a nice, warm spring evening, and feel the community of being around a campfire together. After we listen to the words, we will enter into a period of silence together. Bethany will bring us out of our silence, and we will sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life, in your gray hymnal. And here are Howard Thurman's words. In many-sided activities, there is so much that engages the mind and ensnares the emotions, that again and again we are wanderers lost in the midst of our own private and collective wildernesses, with no sense of being at home anywhere, in anything, at any time. It is wonderful, therefore, to sit together, to be enveloped by a single moment, and feel the presence and sense the lights and shadows of those who sit near us in community with each other.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Judd Kramarczyk. I am co-stewardship chair, and I want to start off the day by saying thank you to every individual who came last night, and in particular, everybody who helped make last night, our dinner, stewardship dinner, a success. From the music, from setting up, from the kitchen work, it takes a lot of hands to make everything successful at our fellowship. So, I've been coming to the fellowship for about 17 years. Like many of us here in the sanctuary or online, I came to the fellowship because I was looking for a community that could help me explore my understanding of faith and express my ideas freely and without fear. And I have found it right here in this place with all of the members who call UUFSB their spiritual home. When I started, I was asked if I wished to help out in the religious education program, what was most people thought as a natural fit since I was a public school teacher. I did say yes, thinking it was a good way to build relationships within the fellowship, and I enjoyed every single moment of it. Starting off working with the younger children and eventually working with some of these same youth years later, I know that the religious education program has helped them become the remarkable adults they are today. And just like the children of our fellowship have grown and learned, I have grown and learned as well. And I take opportunities to help out the fellowship in both big ways and small. Big ways like being a co-stewardship chair, and smaller ways like helping clean the kitchen one morning a month with a group of dedicated volunteers. Another way I try to support the fellowship is with my money. How much to give is always a very personal decision, and I've decided to share my personal story to help us think about how complicated giving can be. As many of you know, I retired just 2.5 years ago from teaching, meaning a lot less income. That also meant I had to give less to the fellowship. However, the fellowship is an important place for me, so I wanted to make sure to help out the best I could. As a result, while the dollar amount I gave may have decreased, the percentage of my giving actually increased because I made sure I tried to compensate as best I could for that. Last year, because of my role as stewardship chair, I became very aware that the membership donations is by far the largest source of income for this fellowship. Yes, the fellowship gets some income from building use fees and fundraisers, but it is the members' contributions which make the bulk of the fellowship income. With that understanding, I made a purposeful choice to change my giving as a whole. That meant who I gave to and how much. This allowed me to increase the amount I gave to the fellowship, even though I had no more income than before. But what about this year? My income has not gone up, and as we know, prices have. This year is what I'm calling my hot chocolate donation. Each Sunday, instead of buying my hot chocolate on the way to service, I will donate that money to the fellowship. It is a small increase, but over the year, it'll amount to about $200. That is what I can give this year, in addition to what I've been giving before. All of our stories are different, and we have to make that decision ourselves. So because the fellowship is an important part of my life, I think deeply about how to give my time as well as my treasure, all with the thought that I want to be part of the sustaining the flame of my spiritual home. Thank you.
Thank you, Judd. It's our spiritual practice to share our plate with an organization working for a more just future. For the month of March, the social justice recipient is the Eastern Farm Workers Association. Also known as the EFWA, the Eastern Farm Workers Association is a free and voluntary association of farm workers, seasonal workers, and others with low income, uniting to end their poverty conditions. Membership reaches from Montauk Point and Orient Point into Nassau County. When originally founded in 1972, most of the original members were working on the many potato and duck farms under harsh and unsafe conditions. Today, potatoes have largely been replaced by other crops, and only one duck farm remains. But Suffolk County's agriculture generates more dollars per acre than any other county in the US, and the labor of the more than 5,000 farm workers here also supports the $3.2 billion tourism industry, which directly employs over 43,000 people. Yet farm workers are still relegated to second-class status. Through their Members Helping Members approach, EFWA is working every day of the year to meet the survival needs of its 40,000 members, who include farm workers employed as vegetable, greenhouse, nursery, and vineyard workers, landscapers, painters, pruners, pickers, and packers. Others work as housekeepers, restaurant, food, service, and grocery store workers, teacher aides and home health aides, and other essential workers who help make Suffolk County's economy run. Volunteers join with the EFWA members, offering their benefit program, which delivers emergency food, clothing, donated preventive medical and dental care, and back-to-school distributions, and more, free charge to the members, and all of it depends on donations. The growing season is starting soon, and this is a great time to do our part and donate generously to this important group of workers. You may make your gifts on the plate or online. For those online, the link to donate is in the chat box. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark. And sings when the dawn is still dark.
Faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark. Oh, faith is the bird that feels the light, the bird that feels the light, the bird that feels the light. Oh, faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark. The bird that sings when the dawn is dark. When the dawn is dark, faith is the bird that feels the light. Oh, faith is the bird that feels the light, the bird that flies and sings, that feels the light and sings, that feels the light and sings, and sings when the dawn is dark. Oh, faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is dark. Oh, faith is the bird that feels the light. It is the bird that sings when the dawn is dark. That sings when the dawn is Faith is the bird that feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark. Oh, faith is the bird that feels the light, the bird that feels the light, the bird that feels the light.
Very beautiful, thank you. We acknowledge the pebbles which we see creating ripples in the water before us. May these ripples carry our shared joys and sorrows, reminding us that we are connected and we hold each other in love and support. Now we're going to be hearing reflections from some of the camp people. I think Wendy, you're starting us off, or Megan? Megan, this is Megan Ledoux. She'll be starting the reflections.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Megan Ledoux, and my pronouns are she and her. Better? Sorry, I'm short. So today we are going to share with you a lot about Sophia Fahs, the UURE camp that started on Shelter Rock 44 years ago. Our leadership team includes Matt and Allison Barish, Ginger O'Neill, Loris Gray, Bryce Klasky, and myself. Wendy is going to start us off by discussing the past, telling you about what camp was like many, many years ago. We are shifting into a new model, so we wanted to start with the past. Wendy, thank you so much.
Sophia Fahs Camp started as an idea that materialized each year like a mythical place, literally rising from the mist. Every summer, staff members' cars are packed to the ceiling with supplies, and they arrive eager, enthusiastic, and energetic. Returning campers hastily deposit their week's worth of essential belongings at check-in and run to greet old friends as they arrive. New staff and new campers are quickly welcomed into the ever-widening circle of dear friends that Sophia Fahs Camp embodies. Each year is unique and different. Staff members bring their individual ideas, inspirations, and creativity. Each camper is encouraged to try new things and discover more about who they are and what they hope to be. Our campers are grouped according to age. The youngest we call the monoliths. Next in age are the mountains, then boulders, then stones, then rolling stones, and the eldest are the pebbles. Can you imagine what unofficially or officially we call the adults? I think sand, because they ground us down. Yep. The 6 days of Fahs are divided into scheduled time slots. Every morning we gather for breakfast, followed by a morning worship service. Then it's time for program, aka themed facilitated discussions among individually aged groups, led by adult staff. After lunch, circle groups combine all different aged campers and are facilitated by the eldest campers, our pebbles, and they talk more about the day's theme. Each day has a different theme. The afternoon offers campers time to create an enormous variety of arts and crafts, play a favorite sport, develop a new skill, all sorts of things. Each evening after dinner, time is set aside for evening activities for all campers and staff, such as waterfront games, a talent show, campfires complete with camp songs and s'mores, of course, a great pebble hunt. And yes, that's exactly what it sounds. Our largest pebbles go and hide somewhere, and we all have to find them, and so on. Over decades, certain traditions have developed. For example, campers will break into song whenever a staff member forgets to avoid using a certain word that is synonymous with messages. A line of lyrics is added on at the end of the song each year. Can you imagine how long it must have been after all these years? It's actually a matter of individual pride to have memorized the whole entire song. This musical tradition has become so ingrained for me personally that throughout the year, whenever I hear someone, for an example, in a staff meeting at work say the word, I expect a young person to start singing. I mean, there are so many different scenarios when someone is bound to say announcements. Announcements. As we look back to the past, the origins of the camp started with the vision of the Reverend Randy Becker, who sought to create a space where our children could experience the fullness of our UU heritage. The vision became reality in 1981, when Reverend Randy embarked on a mission to create a space where Unitarian Universalist children could come together to learn, worship, and play. His vision led him to Camp Quinnipiac on Shelter Island, and with the help of about 10 families, the first Sophia Fahs religious education camp was born. From these humble beginnings, the camp grew into a sleepaway camp for children from 3rd to 12th grade, welcoming up to about 125 campers at its peak. As time passed, Reverend Randy handed over the directorship to the fearless and missed Patsy Kaplan, who led the camp for nearly 20 years, until Matt Barish joined as co-director. In 2019, after 38 years, it was time for Sophia Fahs to find a new home. Leaving Camp Quinnipiac was heartbreaking, but we realized it was the people who made a place feel like home. We began our search for a new location and found new spaces with their own beauty and exciting activity for our campers. Megan.
Thank you, Wendy. I actually remember I was a camper myself many years ago, and I remember when we started adding lines on to that song. So it has gone on for a very long time. So in the present, camp has changed a little bit. We reflect on how camp has adapted and transformed in response to the changing world, including our recent shift to the intergenerational model. We celebrate the resilience and dedication of our community as we continue to gather, learn, and grow together, even in the face of challenges. The pandemic reshaped our daily lives, and the leadership of Sophia Fahs Camp faced the challenge of bringing our community back together after losing our long-term location at Quinnipiac and also picking up the pieces in a post-pandemic world. In the past, camp meant that parents would drop their children off for the week, but this was no longer the direction that camp could be going in. The idea for intergenerational Sophia Fahs was born. We had tried out Camp Echo in 2019, right before the pandemic, and we had to take a little bit of a break. In 2023, 55 dedicated campers came together for the first ever intergenerational week of Sophia Fahs at Club Getaway in Connecticut. Transitioning from a children's camp to an intergenerational camp was an exciting challenge, and we rose to the occasion. For the first time, adults also experienced the joy of being campers, hiking, tackling a ropes course, zip lining, and also enjoying the camp benefit of forming lifelong friendships and deepening relationships we had already had. We worshiped, ate, and sang silly songs around the campfire together, creating memories that will last a lifetime. Last summer, at Silver Bay on Lake George, our intergenerational community grew to about 60 campers. This year, we have room to double that. Ginger, would you like to come and tell people about the future?
So it is so easy to see why families who've attended Sophia Fahs Camp and individuals, why we're so excited about sharing this message. It is so fun and so gorgeous up on Lake George. I really want to encourage you to think about it. It's August 10th to 16th. But besides just telling you folks, hey, this is a great intentional community that's broader than each congregation on Long Island that we're putting together and we're investing a lot of time in up on Lake George, it's also just, in these times, something to share of what can we do to create safe spaces for each other and fun spaces and spaces where all our values are, you know, easy to just be together like that. And that's what I love about it. So last year we started a lot of fun stuff. We started a raffle night, obviously s'mores, fire pits. There's an epic softball game, and so many more memories. We had writing classes with Wendy, which I really benefited from. We had writing analyzation classes for other writers. The labyrinth, of course, every day, and bead making, you know, bracelet making. Everyone is getting a chance to just kind of chill out and chat and do fun things. And service every morning is in this like really beautiful old church kind of thing. It's like, looks like stones were hand put to create this church. Isn't it gorgeous? It looks like an old Irish, what is it? Yeah, like a Renaissance chapel with this garden. idyllic, and Lake George is gorgeous. But as we move to the future of what this is going to look like, we want to invite more people out, and we're going to make some more accommodations because for people with varying abilities, we're going to get golf carts this year to kind of get people down to the beach, to the fire pits, up the hills, and things like that. So if you're interested in that, talk to us, because we also have accommodations that are easier right next to the dining hall. So I just want to say a quote by Sophia Fahs to end, and then I will pass it to Megan again. We are resolved to protect individual freedom of belief. This freedom must include the child as well as the parent. The freedom for which we stand is not freedom of belief as we please, not freedom to evade responsibility, but freedom to be honest in speech and action, freedom to respect one's own integrity of thought and feeling, freedom to question, to investigate, to try, to understand life and the universe, which life abounds, freedom to search anywhere and everywhere to find the meaning of being, freedom to experiment with new ways of living that seem better than the old. Thank you. Megan?
So this is where you all come in. You are all a part of our vision for the future of Sophia Fahs. We want to grow our intergenerational, intentional, beloved community. Have you ever heard about the kids come back and talk about camp and how much they loved it? Well, now is your chance. Help us nurture the next generation of Unitarian Universalists and each other, create new friendships, deepen existing ones. Sophia Fahs is often described as magical, and I hope you will all consider joining us to experience it too. For all of you who think of Sophia Fahs still as a kids' camp, I want to assure you that it is not just a kids' camp anymore. And to be honest, it's one of my favorite parts now. As I had said before, I went to camp as a child, and I was dropped off. And aging out was one of the most devastating things for me. And I couldn't wait to bring my children there to grow and learn and experience. And my son has now gone through and is going to be a young adult next year, and my daughter will be there for the first time this year. She'll be a little baby. I think the youngest ever camper we've had. But my husband and I both grew up going to Sophia Fahs. It's a place where you are outside of the world. It's a totally different place. A lot of times in school or in the world as a Unitarian Universalist, I often feel a little other, a little different. And that's not how you feel at camp. You feel welcomed and loved. It's a week where you can truly be yourself. And I hope that everybody considers coming. And Wendy, would you like to come up and share your reflection? Or is Greta's gonna go first? Okay. And Greta actually was once upon a time one of my counselors, so. Oh, no.
Good morning. Today I'm speaking wearing 3 different yet overlapping hats. I was a board member of LIAC, the Long Island Council of Unitarian Universalist Congregations for many years. LIAC brings us the wonderful programs, and I'm going to give you a few acronyms here so you can all speak the language. OWL, Our Whole Lives, COA, Coming of Age, SAF, the Student Activity Fund, and Sophia Fahs Camp, affectionately known as just Fahs. These faith-based programs are funded by our LIAC dues and bring important educational and fun opportunities to our children and to our youth. You have heard or will be hearing more about two of these programs today. You've heard a lot about FAHS, and I'll also talk a little bit about the Student Activity Fund. As the former director of the Religious Education Program here at UUFSB, I fully supported participation in these programs. In addition to learning about our UU history and values, these programs give our children, youth, and families a space to make larger UU connections. I fully encourage every family to take advantage of these programs when they are made available. FAHS in particular is an intentional summer space where families can come together for a week in a beautiful, natural setting and share our UU values while taking a break from everyday life and have fun. And now speaking about those programs as a parent. Both of my children participated in all of the LIAC programming. Coming of Age, Our Whole Lives, Sophia Fahs Camp, and the Student Activity Fund. These programs went above, meaning, okay, see, I should do this on the iPad, it'd be so much easier. These programs went above, meaning on a larger scale, the religious education of a Sunday morning program. It gave my children the opportunity to interact with other UU children and adults. And let's face it, our children are usually the other UUs in their classroom at school. Everyone else has a different faith background than them. Here at the fellowship and in these intentional, dedicated LIAC spaces, kids get to interact with other UUs. Friendships are made that last a lifetime. My children, now young adults, spent college summers dedicating time to working and interning in their prospective future careers. My son, Sean, is now a construction site manager and a U.S. Army captain. He spent summers interning in the electrical union in New York City and doing Army basic training. And he continued those on in his life now. My daughter, Kelly, now a hospital social worker in a cardiac care unit, spent summers taking advantage of the connections provided by the Student Activity Fund to work with Island Harvest, a Long Island-based food bank. These summer opportunities that both my children had access to shaped the professions that they went into and the people that they became. And I'm so proud of both of them. These LIAC programs are about learning, sharing, and lifelong connections in our Unitarian Universalist faith community. Thank you.
It was just about 13 years ago when my then 9-year-old daughter Phoebe ran down that hallway after her RE class, super excited to tell me something, although in her frenzy to get it all out at once, I couldn't quite tell what it was. I remember hearing Fahs and camp and can I go please? And once I got the whole full story, the child and the adult version, and asked Greta and her daughter at least 100 questions, at least once, our family had a sit-down chat about camp. I remember that well. I remember our son Sam, 13 years old at the time, saying, well, if Phoebe's going, I feel I should go too, and so I can make sure I can look out for her, and you get the picture. Learning that I could be a FAHS staff member, but Jeff would be staying home since he was still working at the time, I took a leap of faith and included our then 3-year-old Sawyer in our adventure to Shelter Island. I am so very glad we leaped. Knowing that back in the real world and beyond these congregational walls, our kids, very much like most UU kids, rarely connect to peers who know what UU even is. Coincidentally, the Anderson children and mine attend the same school district. However, even in that rare situation, Edmund, Gia, and Sawyer are 3 out of more than 1,000 students in that one high school. That said, once they cross the border into FAHS, It's very much like when Technicolor created Oz for Dorothy. Every child, every youth, every adult understood. They related. They connected. Whether they were singing around a campfire or sharing thoughts and opinions about UU values and principles, time friend for the very first time. Our children, our youth, our families, and now even new elders who come on their own. They don't have children or grandchildren with them. They come as our adopted grandparents. We all learn the vast expanses Fahs Camp experience can reach.
Sorry. So really quickly to wrap this up. Again, we're here representing LIAC, 2 programs, Sophia Fahs Camp and SAF. We have so many more programs as people listed. SAF, I'm the new program director of SAF, super proud. If anybody here knows a nonprofit that needs an intern that the VEACH program pays for the nonprofit, or if any folks here know a senior in high school or someone in early college, they can have that opportunity and get paid by the VEACH Fund. It's a place where kids from our faith can get to know how to have a meaningful career and how to start that out. So it's open to high school seniors, to college students, and it's the only one of its kind in the country. There'll be a table with more information back there. So please come ask us questions for both programs, and every congregation contributes to LIAC, and this is what we're doing for you in the community. We're sharing the UU values out there, helping nonprofits, and you folks are doing that. So thank you for inviting us today. To close out, we're gonna sing a song together called Magic Penny, and the words are in your order of service. So the youth are gonna come around and pass out a penny, and does everyone know how this works? You pass the penny to your neighbor, and oh, are you gonna play music for us? Yay! So you pass it along, because the whole thought is, it feels good to give, right? So we're gonna give our love away like that, and not hold it tight. Give it away. All right, take it away, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, all of our camp friends, for being here. Just a reminder that Ginger and the other camp leaders will be at the table in the back for information. I heard that the registration for camp begins around February, it was beginning around February 15th, so it's going now. And I want to say thank you again for being here and giving us this service. Just for closing words, I'll use the magic penny words. For love is something if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. Our chalice will now be extinguished.